Hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheridan Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So on the last video, y'all saw us go pick up some brand new cows. We got four new heifers and a new steer, and we put them out there in the catch pen beside the barn. So we're gonna let them out today. They've been penned up for about 24 hours. Not quite 24 hours, but they've been penned up for a day. Kind of let them get used to the new digs, new location, all that kind of thing. Let the big cows come in, sniff them. Everybody sort of figure out who's who and know that somebody's new here, all that kind of thing. So we're gonna let them out, but first, we've got a little bit of a weed problem. I'm gonna take you out and show you what we got going on. And I'm gonna show you how we mitigate that. As y'all know, we don't use any chemical pesticides or herbicides or any of that stuff around here. We like to take care of that thing take care of that type of problem through natural means as much as we can. So I'll show you what we're gonna do with that today. So hang out with us for a little bit and let's take care of some weeds and let some cows out on the pasture. All right, so here's what we're trying to work on. I've got patches of this. And for those of you that don't know, this is stinging nettle. I think it's also called horse nettle. We just call it nettle around here. But it's got little barbs on it. I don't know if you can see them very well. Got little barbs on it right there in the seed pods. And this stuff, we're starting to get it popping up over different spots out here in the lower pasture. So what I was working on was a little bit of mechanical weed control. So as y'all know, we don't use any chemical fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, none of that stuff around here. So whenever you start getting a little bit of an infestation, something like this, you need to either let the animal figure out, is it something animals will eat? And I have seen them eat some of this when it's real young and it's coming up. But we've got so much of it out here, I don't know if they just didn't keep up with it or what happened. But I have seen the cows eat it. Well, if the animals can't control it, you got to figure out some way to manage it. So what we're doing today is I'm taking the tractor with the bush hog on it, and we're just going to cut it down, lower it down, and get it chopped down to the ground, hopefully so that it don't start putting out a bunch of seed and reseeding and that kind of thing. Also, we're getting ready to move the chicken tractors, and they're getting ready to move forward, and we had a big patch of it right there in front of them, so we had to get that knocked down. Got a little bit left. Let's finish getting the big patch. I'm not going to get it all. I mean, we got little sprigs of it just kind of growing up in different spots, but I want to get where we've got big patches of it. And I need to research and find out what causes this to grow. Usually whenever you've got a plant like this coming up, it's fixing something. It's a nitrogen fixer. It's trying to break up compaction, something along those lines. And I've not researched that, I don't know. But if any of y'all know, leave me a comment down below what this nettle is doing. What is it repairing? There's a reason for it. There's a purpose for it. We don't think stuff just grows for no reason. There's a reason for this stuff coming up. So if any of you know, leave me a comment down below. But in the meantime, let's go ahead, finish knocking out. I've got a couple of good sized patches of this stuff. We'll get it knocked out. And then I've got a little side fence up here that's around in front of the garden, goes in front of the house. We're going to check it, make sure it's good and hot, and then we're going to let those new calves out that we picked up on the last video. So let's do a little more mowing, and we'll see if we can get those calves out, get them joined in with the rest of the crowd. we certainly didn't eradicate it, but where I would have a patch like this, I just knocked all it down, and there's still a few sprigs of it around, so it's just going to be what it's going to be. But I think as long as I can keep the big patches of, there's some real big patches down yonder. As long as I can keep that knocked down, I think probably going to be okay. All right, so next thing I want to do, I want to work on this wire right here. We've got it set up here around the front of the garden and front of the house. So it's gotten loose and we've twisted it in a couple of places. I'm going to go down here. We're going to take the juice off of it because it does have a small energizer on it. Pull it nice and tight again, make sure that it's in good shape, and then we can let those new calves out and let them start figuring out the lay of the land. This is a real quick way to tighten up this temporary fence, is just wrap it around your post a couple times and it'll pull your slack out. Make sure our posts are in good. There we go. Alright, so I loosened everywhere that we'd wrapped it around the post except for here. Came up to the reel, spun the reel up, got it nice and tight, tied it off. I've got a post on the back side of the fence here so it won't go anywhere. Good and sturdy there. And now we're standing up nice and tall and straight like we want. On these portable fences like this, if you're going to make a turn, like we're going to make a turn right here in front of the greenhouse, don't make a sharp angle turn. I need to work on a post. Don't make a sharp angle turn. Make it real gradual. Don't do a 90 degree. Don't do an L. Do a C. And that does help. And if you don't, your post will pull and they'll twist like this. Bend them over and it'll break. It will break one of your little tabs right there. And that'll monkey your post up. So we're going to turn this thing around. We'll hook it in on the back side like so. And we'll put a little bit of outward pressure on in the opposite direction. I know y'all can't see that. In the opposite direction that the tension is pulling. I really need a fiberglass straight post right there. Put a little, angle your post the opposite direction that it's pulling your tension, and it'll stand up. It'll be fine. And it'll work. Right here's one. Work on it a little bit. The wire needs to go down a notch to begin with. Let's fix our post. There, looks better. And then this one, we'll take it out. Take a little relief off of that one over there. There we go. Looks a little better. Now I need a fiberglass post or a pigtail right there. I may go get me a pigtail and put it in. All right, we'll turn the spark back on, but let's get our fence tester and see how much juice we got. All right. So on this small section that's just running from right here, goes up the way towards the house and then back up to the white vinyl fence up there. We're running a little Gallagher S20 Energizer here. Solar, I love these things. They're portable, easy to move, easy to use. We've got it grounded out to a T-post over there and then clipped onto our wire. Let's see what kind of spark we got on this thing. 7,800 volts. 7,800 volts, 77, and we're drawing less than an amp. So good clean fence, good spark, good ground. I ain't gonna touch it. 7,800 is enough to knock you out of your boots. And if you're a four-legged animal that has got naked bare hooves standing on the ground, and you touch that with your nose or your tongue, it's gonna rock your world. So we're in good shape right there. Man, that's nice. 7,700, 74, drawing 3.7 amps, 0.3 amps. Man, that's good, that's good. All right, they're over here in the catch pen. Moment of truth. turn them out, see what they do. Right. We're gonna let them out. So another reason we want to let them out is it's hot and they don't have any shade. So I'm just gonna open up a panel right here. I'm gonna set y'all down so I can get this tripod to stand up. And I'm gonna open up a panel right here and we will let them come out and see what they'll do. Yeah, y'all sit right there for a minute. All right, babies, the time has come. The time has come. And I am going to leave this open because they've been in here for not quite 24 hours, but they've sort of established this as home base. And I've got a feeling they'll come back in here after they've sort of been around and through everybody and all that kind of thing. So let's walk in here and walk them out. All right, y'all. We're going outside with the big cows. Before I opened them up, I've done this off camera. I brought the water trough up here and plugged it in real close to where they were. So as soon as they came out, they had water. Now they know where the water is. Before, it was way down the field. With them not being oriented to the farm at all, didn't think it was a good idea to leave it that far down. So, all right, they're out. They have access to the shade mobile. Everybody else is, I don't know if y'all make it out on this camera or not, under that big poplar tree just to the left of the shade mobile in the distance right there. Everybody's laid up in the shade right there. So let's watch them for a few minutes, see what they do. We're gonna walk down the field. Little red boy's down yonder. Got another black one down yonder. For those of you that didn't see on the last video, this is 4 heifers and 1 steer that we bought off of our friends, the Parkers, which is another farm here in town, about 20 minutes from here. We bought a bunch of cattle off them. They've got about a 300 head operation. I guess that's what they used to be. I asked Brian yesterday, I said, how many head of cattle you got right now? He just kind of laughed and said, I don't even know. But they've got a pretty sizable operation. Bought animals from them before. They do a real nice job out there. Real nice job. These were part of another group. These were a little small out of the group. Sold a load, and the buyer didn't want these smaller animals. Works out perfect for us. Average, the heifers were 585 and the 1 lone steer was 540 pounds. So about the right size for us. We've got a couple more that are in that same range. So we've got that'd be 5, 6, 7, 8. We got about 8, yeah, about eight cattle now that are real tight on the size range. Well, everybody's calling and talking to each other. All right, I'm gonna stand here and watch them. I'll report back to y'all here in just a few minutes after we kind of see what they do and how they're gonna act and what everybody's gonna do here. Well, the crowd is now coming down out from under the shade tree, and the bigger ones are walking up to the littler ones, wanting to sniff them. I don't know how much of that y'all can see from here on this little camera. Yeah, we got a big one pushing a little one right there. I mean, that's pretty typical. Sort of expect that. So one thing I have noticed is that the small ones have not gone, there's a wire down there just past those chicken tractors, and also there's a wire around those chicken tractors. And it does not look like the little ones have gone, the new ones have gone down past the wire, nor have they tried to get in there and mess with those chicken tractors. So they apparently have seen the wire and know what it is. Let's walk. Let's just walk down here and get us a little view of stupid geese. Get us a little view of what's happening and what the interaction's going to look like here. The big ones don't seem to be paying a whole lot of attention to the little ones. Here's a couple of smaller ones. Two of them just turned left right there in front of us. It's one of the older ones that's been here for a while right behind them. They've gone right to grazing. Heads down. Got one got a head up. Everybody else got head down right now. Yeah, boy. Man. There is practically no pushing, shoving, none of that. Small ones have just fallen right in with the bigger ones, following right along, staying with the group. I got one standing over there under the shade next to the fence, but hot dog, man. I believe this worked out pretty good. Oh, honey, you don't have the equipment for that. All right. I think we'll just leave them alone for a little while. I'll watch them from up at the shop, make sure nobody gets on the other side of that wire right there. It's hot. I checked it a few minutes ago. It wasn't quite as hot as the other one. It was about 3,000. Still enough to turn one around if they decide they won't touch it. But I'll watch them from up at the shop, see how they do. So far, it looks pretty good. Good looking cows, good looking group. And so I got to tell y'all real quick. On the last video, we went to pick these animals up. We met a funeral procession. And here where we live, it is tradition to stop and pay your respects to those that are driving by because they've lost a loved one. And I had asked in the last video if that happened where y'all lived. And a longtime viewer and commenter, a fellow by the name of Dwight. Dwight always comments on our videos. Faithful viewer. Dwight sent us a story about he was actually on the golf course one day playing with a buddy of his, and a funeral procession started driving by, and his buddy stopped, took his hat off, put it over his heart. And Dwight said, that's awful nice of you. He said, I appreciate somebody that's got that kind of respect for the deceased and the family and that kind of thing. And the guy looked at him and said, well, I spent the best 42 years of my life with her. It's the least I can do. So thank you, Dwight. Appreciate the story. I'll walk back up here in the shade, see what they're going to do. This is my lead cow. I think she must be coming up here to tell me that there's somebody new in the group or something. I don't know what she's doing, but they're all walking this way. Little ones are, this is a small one over here to the side, another small one right there. I think I think we're just kind of getting the lay of the land right now. Figuring out where the boundaries are, what all we got going on here. A few others walking along. I tell you, this has been the easiest, based on integrations that we've done in the past, where we turn them into an open field and they start jumping over wire. That's on me. This has been one of the easiest, so far, this has been one of the easiest integrations that we've ever had. What are you bellowing at there, baby? There'll be some nudging right here now. Everybody coming to the trough to drink. Oh yeah. Yep. Hello, 67. Your butt's dirty. All right, I'm satisfied with the integration here. And I know y'all may think, why is he going on and on like this? Anytime you're mixing groups of animals, whether it's chickens or pigs or cows, that's an opportunity for problems. And when you can have a successful mixture, you can put two groups together and everybody gets along, and you don't have any problems, you don't have people breaking out the fence, you don't have fight and all that kind of thing, that's a win. So if you've never had animals and you don't know, trust me, this is a win. I'm very happy about this. All right, I got ran in because of the rain. What you doing, Whistle Britches?
There's a turkey on the job.
A turkey?
No, I got a big chicken on here.
Let's see it. Wait, where'd this chicken come from?
Well, I'm afraid to tell you, 'cause I'm afraid Brittany will see this video.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It was the shop chicken,
The
wasn't
shop chicken.
it? Yeah. Let's have a look. My Lord of mercy. How much does that thing weigh?
He weighed 9.8 pounds.
9.8 pound chicken. That is a turkey, ain't it? So what are you doing? Just rotisserie?
Just rotisserie.
Yeah.
I put him in a brine just to get some flavor in him.
Right.
And here he is.
What'd you make your brine out of? I know somebody's going to ask.
A little bit of salt. I don't salt the brine like a regular recipe. I do a half a cup per gallon.
Half a cup of salt, gallon of water.
And half a cup of brown sugar. About 4 or 5 cloves of garlic and a lemon.
And a lemon.
Split in half.
And then you just dropped this guy in there, filled him up with water.
Yep.
How long did you leave him?
About 12 hours.
About 12 hours. Yeah.
Now on a regular chicken, I wouldn't, like a 3 or 4 pound chicken, you only need to do it for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. That'll be plenty on this guy, won't it?
Should be.
Yeah. You have filled my shop full of smoke.
It'll be all right.
They're going to call the McGrady Fire Department up here. They're going to be up here spraying water on us. All right. So supper is on. We had a little storm blow up. And I ain't kidding y'all, 15 minutes ago I was out there and the sun was shining. It got dark all of a sudden and the skies opened up. Now if y'all can see, they're all down there and it looks like, man, it still looks like everybody's getting along good. Oh yeah, they're all grouped up down there together doing their thing. So I believe our integration worked. All right, that chicken done. I'm gonna have to hand you the microphone because I ain't got but one with me.
Yes, this chicken is done. Oh, man. It took about 2 hours at 300 degrees. And that's a 9 pound chicken. And if any of you ladies or gentlemen out there that are used to cooking chicken that you buy from the grocery store and you say 2 hours at 300 degrees on a 9 pound chicken, it's not done. Well, it is. And the reason it is because our chicken, unlike grocery store chicken, has not been injected with salt water. So we have found over the years that folks that buy our chicken for the first time, I need to tell them that our chicken is going to cook in about half the time of a grocery store bought chicken. And that's why it's not been injected with anything. Because folks that are buying for the first time tend to overcook it.
What are we having with this thing?
Fried potatoes and onions and cream corn and tomato.
Lord mercy. All right, there they are. There's at least 2 of the new ones that we just got that are up here close to the house with some of the, I think there's at least 2 of them. Yeah, there's at least 2 of the new ones in there with that group that's laying up here right now. We had a little rain shower come through a little while ago. It has cooled off. It is super nice out here right now. Low humidity, cooler than it was, so they're up here in the shade kind of hanging out. But the integration has worked out really well. We've not had any issues. Everybody's stayed in the fence. They've been together now for, gosh, I guess probably about 3 hours and are getting along really, really well. So happy with that. The nettle, we cut a bunch of nettle. I didn't mow the entire field. I didn't cut it all down like I showed earlier. We just hit some of the big spots where we had patches of it, try to mitigate some of that and get rid of it. That's a decent way to try to handle a weed problem. In our upper field up here, as you come into the farm on the left-hand side, we've got a lot of yellow crownbeard up there, and it's not bloomed out yet. So in the next week or so, I probably need to go up there and cut some of it and slow it down from spreading as well. So, you know, whenever you're not using chemicals, you're not using weed killers and Roundup and all that kind of stuff, you know, you've got to figure out other ways to mitigate those types of problems, weeds and unwanted plants and flora and fauna where you don't want it. And like I said earlier, lots of times those plants are there for a reason. There's too much nitrogen. There's not enough nitrogen. You've got soil compaction. I read one time that whenever you see a lot of thistle coming up, the thistle is coming up because you have soil compaction. And when I'm out here, I had one thistle that I saw today up here on top of the hill. I've seen the amount of thistle that we have up there go down over time because we're running more animals up there, and we're rotationally grazing animals across, and I think the hoof pressure and them animals up there massaging the soil has helped to break up some of the compaction, and so now we don't have as much thistle. I'm wondering out here, one thing that I did kind of notice, maybe a little bit of a pattern, is that we were getting that nettle growing up in places where we had the eggmobile. So I'm wondering if that poop through floor, we're putting too much nitrogen onto the ground and it can't absorb it, and that is a byproduct of having those chickens there and having a little bit of a concentration of manure. Don't know if any of you out there know about that or have looked that up or know what's causing that. By all means, leave me a comment down below and let me know what's causing that. So, but otherwise, I mean, our pasture looks good. We don't have a whole lot of weeds in it. We've got plenty of a variety of grasses, orchard grass, timothy, fescue. You know, we've got a lot of different grasses out here. So I think we're doing something right, and it seems to be working okay. So anyway, I think that's going to do it. Big shout out to our friends over on Patreon that are supporting us over there. Links in the description down below if you'd like to join us over there. We add some things, put some stuff over there that's not in other places. We do market videos, talk about what cows cost us and that sort of thing. And also, real quick reminder, we have partnered with Farm Focused to develop a little bit of Sheridan Park Farms merchandise, some hats and t-shirts and sweatshirts and that kind of stuff. I'll put a link down below if you're interested in that as well. You can go over there and order you something. So, I think I'm going to go work on that chicken that Sondra's been cooking as soon as she gets the potatoes and everything else done, but ready for supper. So, I think that's going to do it. Like we always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.